A boy was being bullied by his classmates when suddenly a low growl came from the bathroom. A cheetah had appeared in the school. The bully ran off in panic, dropping a roll of cash. The boy picked up the money. Facing the cheetah, he wasn't scared at all, because it was his companion, raised since childhood. The cheetah's appearance at school caused quite a stir, so Zane had to hide him. Looking at the bustling city around him, he knew this wasn't a place for Duma to survive, and Zane himself didn't belong here either. So he went back to the farm, took his late father's motorcycle, left a note for his mother, and set off on an adventure with Duma. One boy and one cheetah traveled down the straight highway. There was so much unknown ahead, but as long as they were on the road, it was all worth it. They crossed the wilderness, enjoying that sense of boundless freedom, but gasoline always runs out. The motorcycle lost power and came to a stop. There was no one around for miles. The water they'd brought was nearly gone. Zane could only push the bike forward. Under the scorching sun, if this continued, he would pass out in this desolate basin. Luckily, a crashed plane lay nearby. Its tail provided some shade, giving them a little relief from the heat. Early the next morning, a man appeared and walked straight towards Zane's motorcycle. Hearing the sound, Zane crept up behind him.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? What are you doing?
The man didn't know the motorcycle was out of gas. Seeing a child alone, he put away his knife. He said he was heading south, while Zane said they were going west.
You went west?
My buddy and I.
The man cautiously pulled out his knife and backed away step by step. Zane took control and asked if he had water. The man asked what he had to trade. Zane said he could give him a ride on the motorcycle, so the man gave him water, then tried to start the engine.
Does this thing work?
If you have gas.
Even though he'd been played, the man admired Zane's clever trick. Through their conversation, Zane learned the man's name was Rip, a wandering gold prospector. He also had a pet, a possum, but right now, they had no water and no food. They couldn't survive. Desperate, Rip suggested they eat the possum and Duma. Zane flatly refused. Then he suddenly thought of a way out. He used a parachute from the plane to make a sail, and modified the motorcycle. With the wind power, they were off. The exhaustion and despair were swept away by the open breeze. In a low-lying patch of desert, they stopped. With years of wilderness experience, Rip was sure he could find water there. After digging tirelessly, he struck water. With water came hope. Just then, an ostrich appeared nearby. Zane hoped Duma would tap into his wild instincts and catch the ostrich, but Duma had no real hunting experience. In the end, he didn't catch the ostrich. He just found a few ostrich eggs. Seeing that Duma couldn't even hunt, Rip started scheming. He suggested Zane sell Duma to a zoo for a big sum of money, but Zane refused firmly. He wanted to take Duma back to the grasslands and return him to the wild. Rip laughed at him for being naive. The wild was full of dangers. Any predator could easily kill him. But that night, Rip unexpectedly offered to guide them part of the way. So the next day, they set off. But Zane was cautious. He took out his compass and realized Rip wasn't heading west at all. He was heading north, toward a town. Zane knew he couldn't trust this man, but he stayed quiet, waiting for a chance to break away. They came to an abandoned village, its civilization long gone. Rip found a handy weapon. Just then, a helicopter appeared in the distance. Rip pulled Zane into a house to hide. Unbeknownst to Zane, he had just missed his mother's search. That night, Rip asked Zane if he knew why cheetahs have two black lines on their faces. Zane thought the lines helped reduce sunlight reflection when they hunted, but Rip offered a different explanation. He said a mother cheetah once lost her beloved cub. She searched and called out for it, crying so deeply that tears streamed down her face, leaving two black tear marks in their wake. It was a story that eerily echoed Duma and Zane's fate. A year earlier, Duma's mother had been killed by a lion pride, leaving the helpless cub behind. One night, Zane and his father had found Duma on the highway and brought him back to the farm, making him part of the family. But one day, his father collapsed suddenly. After a long hospital stay, he returned with a scar on his head. Life seemed to go back to normal. His father took Zane to test Duma's speed. As a cheetah, Duma could reach 110 kilometers an hour. Then one day, his father told him it was time to take Duma home because he was a wild animal and belonged in the wild. However, early one morning, an ambulance pulled up to the house. His father had passed away without warning, without even a goodbye. After that, his mother decided to leave the farm and start a new life in the city, taking Zane with her. But to him, the farm was home. To fulfill his father's wish and to escape the city, Zane decided to take Duma back to where he belonged. The next day, Rip went to an abandoned mine, hoping to find some diamonds left behind. It was a perfect chance to escape. Zane turned and ran toward his destination, but he hadn't gone far when he heard the mine collapse. Kind-hearted Zane put down his bags without hesitation, rushed into the mine, and dug Rip out. But halfway through, he stopped and exposed Rip's true intentions, heading north so he could turn Zane over to the police, and then sell Duma. Rip tried to deny it, but Zane angrily walked away, and taking Rip's weapon and pet with him. After parting ways with Rip, Zane continued on with Duma. He came to a river and built a simple raft from branches, drifting downstream with Duma. Before long, they hit rapids. The raft slammed into rocks, and they were thrown into the water. Crocodiles on the shore caught the scent of prey. Zane gripped his weapon, striking the water as he swam swam toward shore and finally made it out. But the danger wasn't over. Pushing through reeds taller than him, they startled a herd of wild buffalo. Zane dove back into the reeds. To protect him, Duma bravely lured the enraged herd away. After the buffalo dispersed, Zane realized Duma was nowhere to be found. He immediately started searching, but Duma had fallen into a poacher's trap and was locked up. The grassland was full of dangers. Hungry lions, hunting dogs on the prowl. Alone, Zane ventured into the dangerous bush. He called out for Duma, but instead attracted a wild boar. He could only climb a tree to hide, staying silent even as spiders crawled across his face. After the boar left, Zane climbed down. He scanned his surroundings carefully. Then suddenly, Rip's pet possum appeared. Zane's startled cry attracted the boar again. He ran for his life, tripped over a root, and a terrifying face loomed over him. Zane passed out. When he woke up, Duma was right there beside him. The person who had saved him was Rip. Guiltily, Zane apologized for how he treated him, but Rip said he had been right. He had indeed planned to use them to exchange for money. Then he opened up about himself. He was originally from this land, with big dreams and ambitions. Years ago, he left his wife and child, and went to the city. But there, he felt so small. In the end, he became a criminal. Now he couldn't face his family, and didn't know how to. Zane could relate. He thought his mother must hate him for running away. But Rip said,
Mothers never stop loving their children.
to show his gratitude, Zane gave Rip the roll of cash. But Rip, who had once done anything for money, wouldn't take it. So Zane then decided to throw it into the water. Watching this, Rip finally accepted it, and he promised to help Zane one more time. Truth be told, even without the money, he would have seen it through. Rip had found some diamonds in the mine. He generously gave one to Zane. They had become friends.
I want you to remember your friend, Rip Kuna.
I'll remember you, Rip.
Ashore, they came to a cave. Its walls were covered with ancient markings, telling stories of those who had come before. But those people were long gone. It made Zane think of his father's sudden death, and he felt confusion and resentment. Rip spoke gently to him.
People go when they are ready to go, not when you are.
Life is like a river. Everyone is a traveler on its course. Those who leave before us have simply reached the end. All we can do is continue the journey. Saying goodbye isn't about holding on to the past. It's about carrying the marks they left behind, and walking your own path forward. After they left the cave, Duma found animal remains, and began greedily feeding on them. Zane realized it was leftovers from a predator's kill. Fearing the scent would attract danger, he rushed to stop Duma. But to his surprise, Duma bared his teeth and growled defensively, warning him to stay back. Rip said to leave him alone. This was his wild instinct awakening. Not far ahead was Rip's home. But then they spotted a swarm of tsetse flies approaching. Rip grabbed Zane and ran. Those bloodsuckers could kill a person. In the end, they were surrounded. Rip wrapped Zane tightly in a blanket, leaving himself exposed to the flies' bites. By nightfall, the flies' toxins began to take effect. Rip's condition deteriorated. Predators prowled nearby, waiting. They had to start a fire to stay safe. But a storm hit, soaking the wood so it wouldn't catch. In desperation, Zane used the dry cash to ignite the flames. The fire kept the lions at bay, but Rip's life hung by a thread. Zane tied Duma down, and set off across the dangerous plain, to reach the village and get help. But the lion was stalking him. Duma sensed Zane was in danger, broke free from his rope, and lured the lions away just in time. Before long, Zane finally found Rip's tribe. He explained the situation to the elder, and they used their traditional methods to save Rip. Meanwhile, after drawing the lions away, Duma had run into other cheetahs. The next morning, when the tribe removed the masks, they recognized the man who had left them long ago, Rip. His wife and son came to his bedside. There were no accusations, only tears and tender concern. This long journey had taught Rip one thing: wealth or poverty, home is always the harbor that holds you, and the most irreplaceable treasure in life. Zane was happy to see Rip reborn. Then he went outside to look for Duma. Seeing him playing with other cheetahs, Zane felt a pang of sadness. He remembered his father's words: Duma would always belong to his own world. Perhaps sensing Zane's sorrow, Duma came slowly to him, nuzzling him like he always did. Feeling Duma's comfort, Zane stayed silent, but his resolve to let go was firm. Biting back his reluctance, he said his final goodbye to Duma. The journey had come to a perfect close. In the end, Zane returned to his long-lost hometown, to the warm farm where his mother was. His mother held no blame for him, only a long-awaited embrace. All the love in this world. Essentially, it is a kind of gentle acceptance. Whether it's letting go to set someone free, or staying to silently watch over, it is one of life's most precious gifts.